In a world where the meaning of existence is a cosmic joke, a world where the gods in their infinite amusement have devised a cruel and endless task. Meet Sisyphus, condemned by the gods to forever push a boulder up a steep hill, only for it to roll back down to the bottom every day. His punishment, a symbol of the absurd, a testament to the futility of the human endeavor. It's about toiling. It's about the weight of the boulder pressing against his back, his muscles straining. He must confront the absurdity of his existence. The hill, a metaphor for life's challenges, always seems insurmountable. And the boulder, a symbol of our desires and aspirations, always seems to be slipping from our grasp. Yet, in the face of this absurdity, Sisyphus seems to have a choice. He can succumb to despair, allowing the weight of his burden to crush his spirit, or he can choose to embrace the absurdity. This eventually becomes a have-to. He is required daily to push the boulder, and his identity becomes deeply embedded in the stone. Sisyphus is really not a victim of fate, but he has a conscious participation of his own, a participation of his own suffering. Imagine him pushing the boulder with a sense of purpose, not because he believes it'll ever reach the top, but because the act of pushing itself becomes a form of meditation. In the repetitive motion, Sisyphus finds a rhythm. He finds a connection to the present moment. He becomes aware of his breath, the tension in his muscles, and the feeling of the boulder against the skin. As he pushes, he is forced to let go of his expectations, his desires, his illusions of control, and he is left with nothing but the raw experience of being, of existing in this moment. And in this nakedness, Sisyphus finds a kind of freedom, a freedom from the illusions that bind us, these stories that we tell ourselves about who we are and what we should be. So we can imagine Sisyphus not as a tragic figure, but, in a way, as a hero. A hero who, in the face of the absurd, finds truth. A hero who, through his endless struggle, teaches us the value of the present moment, the importance of letting go, and the power of embracing the absurdity of his life. For in the end, it is not the destination that matters. Of course, it is the journey itself, and Sisyphus, with his boulder and his hill, has shown us that even in the most absurd circumstances, there is always the possibility of finding peace or finding ourselves. You can look at Sisyphus like the futility of life. Maybe Sisyphus isn't making bad decisions or not. Maybe it's not about the efficiency of his work. It's more about the nature of existence. We're all going to turn into dust. So what does it matter? No matter how many people we love and how many people love us, everyone will pass on. Everyone will die. All of it's going to be forgotten. The loved ones and their loved ones are going to be dead. In a couple generations, no one's going to remember any of this. It's all going to be gone, and somehow, in the immediacy of that experience, there is something absolutely glinting and vibrant. Memento mori. That's it. We get up, we walk, we go to work, we eat food, we love each other, we do what we do, and for that reason it is transient and poetic and beautiful. But pushing the boulder up the hill is certainly one thing. Maybe to realize that the requirements, that once we feel like we have to push the boulder, then we start to assume that we want to push the boulder. And then maybe even from there, we assume that it is good that we push the boulder, and that it is right. Yet the most interesting thing about Sisyphus is that once we take the boulder from him, he doesn't know who he is any longer. This is the nature of exploring these have-tos and these requirements. And the story of Sisyphus, while it can fulfill many metaphors and reflections, maybe it's simply about our have-tos, the things we must do and the assumptions therein. Regardless, it has been said that we must imagine Sisyphus happy, and perhaps that is the case. Yet overall, underneath the surface, this is about uncaused, unknown, and unbound joy that can only be found in the things that are unknown, not in the predictable aspects of life, not in the have-tos, and certainly not in the futile pushing of a boulder, day in and day out.